Thank you for coming. Yeah, so I hope you had a great conference so far. We will present a few plugins here, so we only have 20 minutes, and we will present actually 6 plugins. So we are going to move fast, but you will see also, you will have the code on our GitHub, and we will share also the slides on the conference's website. Okay, so we are Adelean. I'm Lucian, and my colleague Oceane here. We will present like a few plugins and how to build them. A lot of code here. The purpose is to show you how you can implement different add-ons to OpenSearch and how you can extend features there. Okay. First of all, you need to know that there are already a lot of plugins in OpenSearch. There are official plugins that are already bundled with the software. You have also some additional plugins that you can install by yourself. There are all types of plugins: analysis plugins, discovery plugins, mapper, ingestion, repository, transport plugins. So plenty of plugin types. They all have their way of implementing. And as I said, you can find also the code that we will present here. And there's also a dashboards, OpenSearch dashboards plugin that is found here. Okay, so we will show these codes in the end. Okay, so the first plugin is a ASCII folding plugin. Who's here from Canada or from France? Oh, okay, so so this is kind of tricky, so it's kind of a specific plugin. The ASCII folding plugin removes the accents, because when people search, they will generally not place the accents. When you write café, you will not necessarily place the accents there. You also have that for Spanish, not necessarily for French. So here in this example, you have the word de, which means dice. And actually, that's like a form of like cheese or meat that's really sliced as dices. Okay, so but des is also a stop word in French if it doesn't have the accent. So if you use the ASCII folding, the ASCII folding filters that comes with OpenSearch, you will have like some surprises. And the same with the second example here, where you have pâte, which means pasta, and pâté, which means a specific dish which is nothing but pasta. So it's not pasta. Okay. So here's how it works. So we'll just show the demo quickly. So this is with the like standard ASCII folding plugin. When you search for this, so this means dices of cheese. You see that they are like cut because they are considered to be stop words because of this ASCII folding here. So our implementation actually adds this smart ASCII folding type, okay, that allows you to specify rules. And with these rules, these rules works like the stemmer override rules that you have in the stemmer override token filter. Okay, and it works like this. You see that this one, de, with an accent, is not removed. Okay, so it's like a smart ASCII folding that will remove accents, except for some tricky words. Okay, so yeah, I'll hand over to Oceane to show you how the code is working.
Okay, so basically what we do here is that we implement the analysis plugin, and the main method in this class is going to be the get token filter, in which we're going to instance a new factory that we're going to create that I'm going to show you after. So yeah, this is the factory, and basically what we do here is that we pass our input that we saw earlier. So this here is going to get passed in our factory class. And then at the end, with the create method, we create our filter. And what it's going to do here is going to put the rules into a map. So then in the token filter, that is our main class, we're going to implement the increment token. And what it's going to do is it's going to look in the map, and if the key is equivalent to a term, it's going to skip the ASCII folding, and if it's not, well, it's going to fold as it usually would. And so that's it for this plugin.
Okay, next plugin is a different type of plugin. It's a lookup plugin. So it's still an example from e-commerce. You have one document, which is the product, and it usually comes without the price and the stock because these two features vary a lot. So prices may be less, but stocks vary very, very often. And usually we don't store like when you get the data from your data sources, you have the products and the prices are stored somewhere else. Okay? And what we need here is a plugin that allows you to just send the products to the index and the prices and stocks come along automatically. Okay? So this is the lookup plugin. And it's implemented with an ingest pipeline. Okay, so we have a processor, which is called lookup processor, that we implemented. We just specify a join key and where to look up for prices and availability. Okay, so it works like this. Yeah, for example, this is the prices index. Okay, that has prices for number 1, number 2, number 3. This is the availability index that has prices for number 1, number 2, number 5. Okay, and this is the ingest processor. Okay, we just create the ingest processor. We specify the key, which is the product number, and then the lookups. Okay, and so for example, here is my index. Okay, I will just specify the default pipeline. So the pipeline applies automatically when I send products to this index. And then I just send like documents to this index. And you notice here that I don't have price, I don't have quantity. I just have 1, 3, and 5, the 3 products that I'm sending. Okay. And when I search for those, I see that quantity and price is attached to those. So for example, for the first one, I have quantity 4 and price 10.5 that come from this index here. So 4 and 10.5, that comes from the prices index. Okay, pretty straightforward. And here's the code for that. Oh, sorry.
Okay, so this time it's going to be an ingest plugin, as we said earlier. So the main method here is going to be the get processor. We're going to take the clients from the parameters, because we're going to need it to insert to other index, to request for other indexes. So there we also have the create in the factory that, as before, passes the parameters of our ingest plugin, ingestion pipeline that we declared. And then in here, we're going to do the 2 calls to the lookup indices. Well, actually it's a 4, but in our case it's going to be 2. And after we've enriched the document, we're going to return it as it's usually done.
Okay, next plugin, it's what we call an autocomplete plugin. So this is a slide that I took from another talk that we will do tomorrow. It basically says that when you implement autocompletion, you need to create specific indices if you want to have performance. In this example, if you want to implement number 2 and number 4, you can implement that with only one index, which is the product index, and using aggregations, for example, for categories. But it's not necessarily the most performing query. Okay, in autocompletion, it's like every character that's sent, it's sent to the server. You need the answer really fast in like 5 milliseconds and stuff like that. Okay, so in this demo, we will implement number 2 and number 4. Okay, but we will not implement that with aggregations. We'll actually create a categories index dynamically at index time. Okay, this is what we recommend, and this is what we will show tomorrow. Okay, so here's how it works. It's actually a 2 phases plugin. You have an ingest plugin that handles the indexing part and an action plugin that handles the query part. Okay, so it works like this. Let's see. yeah, so this is the ingest pipeline. We have a processor that will just take a field category, and it will index it into a separate index, which is called category, autocomplete category. Okay, so this autocomplete category index will have only categories, okay, and distinct categories. Okay, so yeah, let me I can create the pipeline, I can create the index. Yeah, so let's delete it. Let's create it again. You notice here that I have the edge engram because I need autocompletion here, so I need edge engram for this one. Send the mapping. This is the products index. Okay, so it also needs edge engram because autocompletion number 4 returns products. Okay, so this is the mapping, and let's go further. These are my documents. Okay, I have products, and each product has categories on it. Okay, let's send them to the index. So number 1, number 2, number 3, and let's also send a refresh on the autocomplete category. And here's the autocomplete endpoint, okay, that returns products. Number 1, 2 products in my case. I have searched for CAS, okay. So it returns 2 products and also returns categories here, okay. And this is coming from the category index. So if I get just the documents from here, you will see that I have only categories here and distinct categories that are really optimized for autocompletion. Okay, and also notice that when I sent the documents to the my products index, I just sent them, okay, and the ingest pipeline managed to create the second index automatically. Okay, and here's the code for the.
Okay, so again with the code, this time it's going to be a bit more complex because we have 2 plugin implementation into one. So as I've presented before, the get processor is pretty usual. I'm not going to spend much time on it. Just notice the settings is there because we are going to make use of a bulk processor for sending to our second index, and the setup for the bulk processor is in there. As you can see here, it is there. As before, we just retrieve our parameters from the declaration. And this is the part about the action plugin. So we have the get actions that's going to declare our transport action, where the action is described, basically. And the get rest handlers that's going to just define a new route, basically, in our case. So as you can see here, we define a new route. That's the autocomplete route that you saw before. And in here, it's the do execute that's going to do a multi-search request. And then that's going to pass the results to a custom response.
So the important parts are highlighted in red there, so you can see how it works. Okay, so next plugin is what we call a query relaxing plugin. So this is also taken from e-commerce. In e-commerce, we don't like zero results queries. And actually, merchandising officers will have dashboards like this. So this is taken from our software that will actually, they define what happens in case of zero results. Okay, so in this example, we do some synonyms, we do some fuzzy search, and then we change the operator from and to or, stuff like that. So this is important in order not to have zero results. So we suggested a plugin that you just send a query, like a typical multi-match query, and it makes sure that you don't have zero results by doing some relaxation, or some relaxing on the query. There are 2 steps which are hard-coded here, but for the demo, the first step is it tries to change the operator. I go from and to or, so just one word is mandatory. And in the second step, if this also returns zero results, I will change the fuzziness parameter. Okay, so here's how it works. So the query relaxing plugin. So I have three products here: iPhone 15, Galaxy, MacBook Pro. Okay, if I search for this one, I get 0 results because I searched for iPhone and laptop. Okay, so it's operator and here. Okay, so this is the plugin, and the endpoint is different. It's not search; it's research. We called it like that because it's like researching. So it sends actually multiple queries sequentially. So here I get results, and it's actually the same query. I said operator and, but actually there was behind the scenes there was a second query that had operator or automatically. Okay, here's another example where I have some fuzziness here, so the words are not spelled correctly. So I send that. Of course, I get 0 results. If I use an or instead of an and, I still get 0 results. Okay, but the research plugin actually does 2 steps. It will try the or first, and then in the second part, it will try fuzziness auto instead of fuzziness zero, and I get results for this query, even though, yeah, I just sent one query to OpenSearch. Okay, so here's the code for this one.
So actually, it's still an action plugin with a new transport action defined and a new route, of course. And basically, I don't think I have the code here, but in the transport QR search action, what we do is that we do the first query first, and then we check the number of hits. And if it has none, it's going to go to the second and then the third, and then return the results. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, so still an action plugin like the previous one. Okay, the next plugin is a search as you type plugin. So if you, I mean, you might probably know this search as you type field type that already exists in OpenSearch. So I don't know, just out of curiosity, do you know how this field type works, or are you using it? So it's an out-of-the-box field type that's used for autocompletion, which is nice. The problem is that it's like, it forces you to write specific queries. So the queries are like this in the right-hand side here. You actually need to know the internal implementation of this field type. And in your query, you need to actually use this .2 gram, 3 gram fields in order for this to work. Okay, so it's kind of like half of the implementation there. So we did a plugin here that will actually allow you to do queries like this, autocomplete, and then you just send the text and the query fields without paying attention to the technical details, let's say. Okay, so here's the quick demo. So the search as you type plugin. We took the same examples that are in the documentation for the search as you type type. So here's an index book, an index that's called books, and you see that you have search as you type for title, summary, and words. Okay, we just sent some books there. So number 1, number 2, number 3, and then we will search with the autocomplete here query. Okay, and we find results, even though we didn't like suffix this with a 2 gram, 3 gram. Okay. And this is actually the query that you should write by default if you're using the search as you type field type and you don't have this plugin. Okay, so it actually returns the same result, but you see that you have to know the implementation details. You have to kind of, yeah. So it's nice to have this shortcut here, less like the search as you type field type, but in the query. You need to add these fields here. Okay, so yeah, rather neat. You just do a simple query which is called autocomplete. So again, this is another type of plugin that has some specificities.
Okay, and so this is the first search plugin that we have. So here it's going to be a get queries method that we're going to override. Sorry, and in there we're going to specify the query builder and the search query parser. And the parser, as its name suggests, is just going to parse our query. And then we're going to create the query as we want it in the search query builder. So here we can see that we are adding the 2 grams and 3 grams to our existing query for all the fields that are in the query fields list. And then we create our multi-match as we saw in the demo.
Yeah, so this is like a great addition to the search as you type field type. Okay, so the last plugin is an addition to a plugin that was built by Telisant. So we will talk about this tomorrow, why it's better to have the synonyms in a file and not in the mapping. So in order to reduce the cluster state. But having synonyms in a file is not really handy. So you can use this plugin that places the synonyms into an index, .synonyms index here. And yeah, it allows you to handle synonyms in an index instead of the disk. Okay. So yeah, we have a OpenSearch dashboards plugin. That's okay. So you can find it here, and I'll let you like explain it and show the code.
So basically, I don't know if we have it here. It's a set index with a set document that contains a list of synonyms. And in our dashboard, what we can do is edit this list. Like here, for example, I can go a bit broader and maybe put smartphone in there. And then I can save it. Maybe I can decide this one is not useful anymore. And the same thing for the explicit plugins. Here, maybe we can just say even this is acceptable, and then save it. And then what we can see is that when we run a search, all things have been edited here. So we can see my entry there and mine here. And what I haven't done is try to add a synonym list. So let's say and conference, for example, and we can save it here, and it's gonna show instantly here. And this just quickly is made possible by the implementation of the CRUD operation in the index class. And most of the UI logic is stored in the app.txt. And you can find more information about that on the OpenSearch blog. That is a very well-made blog that will show you how to get started on building your dashboard plugin.
Okay, so again, so the Telisant plugin is not an official plugin. Yeah, this plugin that we showed is like a great addition to the Telisant plugin, which is already a plugin. Yeah, so, yeah. Again, you can find the code here on GitHub and the dashboards one here. And I just wanted to shout out to this talk that we will do tomorrow, which will talk about operating OpenSearch in e-commerce. So again, I took some slides from there today. And also, you might want to take a look to this one, which was yesterday, but the video will be out soon, and it's a great talk also about AI in OpenSearch. Okay, so that's it. And yeah, thank you. I think there's another talk right after us, which will talk about the internals of the plugins framework by the OpenSearch team. Thank you.